Thank you very much. You were very extensive. Although each one had only 2 minutes, you've collected all your thoughts so well that you were pointed to the issue that you wanted to raise. And I can assure you that on many of these, even before the budget was presented, we've had extensive discussions. So we couldn't go forward on many of your suggestions. Not that we've closed chapter on them. We'll have to be working on them more. So maybe sometime we'll be able to move forward and say something about them, and therefore gives me a sort of reassurance that we are at least on the same page with you all on discussing, if not on concluding, many of the things that you've identified. I'll take only a 5 minute to quickly run through those items where many of you all have equally expressed your concern. And then I would request some of the secretaries who would want to come in, because they could probably bring in that calibration to say where we stand now and where or why we couldn't do anything at this stage, and we may want to take a bit more time to mull over the thought and come back in a future announcement or for a future budget. So if I can, not that I'm giving an exhaustive picture, but pick on those where I have something to say. On the rate and InvITs, where many of you all have had your concern, before the budget and after the budget presented in the Parliament, we've had quite a few discussions. I'm sure when the Revenue Secretary would like to speak, he would be able to say where we stand on it, but not to say that the end of the story. The discussions have led us to a certain level. He'll explain that. And of course, the doors are still kept open, because we need to know how we can go further without hurting any interests. It was a good thought to say, look, can there be, both as a part of the charter and also in general, guiding principles, so that you know eventually this country is not going to make laws which are beyond or hurting off the principle itself. So it gives you a broad kind of a landscape within which we'll sort of move around and not go fluctuating too far away, that it defeats the purpose of a good taxation principle. And whether it is to be incorporated in the charter itself of the taxpayers' rights, or is it going to be mentioned for each time there is a statute which is getting amended. Very good thought. I'm sure we'll go back and work some more on it and do something further. Regulations for obtaining PAN card. Ma'am, you did mention, even for a simple thing like that, there seem to be a lot of problem, and I'll have to go back. In fact, I straight away tell the CEA, probably get in touch with the lady there, Surbi, and get a picture, do some research on it, and come back and tell me why should it be so, when we are probably moving a bit further up the ladder, thinking that the ground has been cleared, made simpler for people to obtain PAN card where it is necessary. And if it is still a concern, whether it's for an Indian resident or a foreign resident, you should look at it, because from what you said, ma'am, what I understood was, because the law has been framed so much for giving a PAN for a resident Indian, is that creating a trouble? It could be as simple as that. I don't know, but maybe both of you all could talk to each other, and it will be very helpful. On the Vivad Se Vishwas, treatment of losses, again, a lot of discussion has happened. I don't think the details of this scheme is yet out. The Cabinet has given its approval, the Rashtrapati has given its approval, his approval for the amendment which has come after the bill has been laid. So in a day or two, we should be coming with a clear non-paper, because the Parliament has yet got to pass it. So I wouldn't say a notification, at least a non-paper, so that everyone gets a clear picture of everything that is going to be part of the notification once the Parliament passes it. At this stage, the non-paper is being called so for this purpose, and the non-paper also would say subject to the approval of the Parliament. But matter of fact, that is what is going to come out. So for all of you all to have the time in your hand to have a look at it and talk to your clients and also take a call on it, this would be what would come out after the Parliament passes, but you nevertheless have it 30 days in advance, 30 or 3 weeks in advance. Again, on the pension funds, is it going to be part of what we've said here in terms of giving sovereign funds a certain kind of relaxation? Is that going to be a part of it? I'm sure the Revenue Secretary can speak on it. ESOP. The fable never ends for me. I thought we were coming back to you all to say, look, we've done this, you asked for it, we've done it. No, not good enough. I'm ready to hear more. But somewhere, even as we want to be all extending of help, we want somewhere somebody to concede saying yes. And I'm so glad Prime Minister spoke in times now, the way he spoke about, all of us should also think of contributing somewhat to the country. Yes, I agree, day one when you get the ESOP, you don't want to pay for it. Yes, I also agree when he leaves, it's a perquisite and therefore should he be paying on it. Please define yourselves on ESOP and tell me what is it. Is it a perk? Is it a salary? Is it to be taxed on day one? Is it to be taxed never? Let me know. My feeling is I've heard and heard and heard, and I thought, well, what was being asked is being given. No, it's now a perk. I don't want to tax perks, all right. But then please, make up your mind. Tell me for once. I want to deal with it with a positive, open mind. You're sitting right before me. I've also had somebody who's not here, who probably I'll meet when I'm in Bangalore next day after tomorrow with the same team. All of you all know who I'm talking about, Mohandas Pai. Between the two of you all, give me a formulation which is going to be acceptable to you. Then I'll take the blame for saying no, it's not acceptable to me, if at all. All right? Please. Because I've had ESOPs literally not putting me to sleep when I read the fable, but when I see ESOP, it's making me sit up. So, no, I'm not suggesting that at all. Please get that thought out of your head. No one is suggesting that you're all trying to avoid or evade. We are trying to strike a balance between what you can give us and what the government can take from you without, of course, hurting you. We are again repeating wealth creation is important for us. But yet, government also needs some money. So that's one of the things. Extension of date, which was from December 2019 to by the RBI. Somebody did mention it. Was it Shama? You? I thought it was already extended by the RBI to end of this year, 2020.
That extension has been given
for the MSME.
MSME.
You're talking about the NBFC. All right, I'll come back to you. Real estate and auto is another ESOP fable. Sorry to say this. As much as we can, we did do. I was extremely glad that the monetary policy didn't bring a myopic view for the RBI. It also has extended some kind of a liquidity availability, given them some kind of a concessions, made EC liquidity available for them to get that, particularly mentioning the sectors which you have mentioned here also, real estate and auto components. So if there's more, please let us know. I also think we made a mention that there will be a tax holiday extension for the real estate promoters in our budget speech also. So the tax holiday that promoters enjoyed till probably 31st March now is extended 12 more months. So tell us more. We've also got this last mile projects which are stuck up to get completed. There is an asset being created and that's going to come in. So then Jaivik Kheti getting certified. Isn't EPEDA doing that? Organic certification is being given by EPEDA in the Commerce Ministry. So if there's more to be done, let us know. There was an interesting suggestion by Indranil Sengupta. I'm going to be at the RBI to obtain that list from the banks. Come on, tell me, what have you lent, at what rate? That was a fantastic suggestion. I'll take it up. Risk aversion, yes, we need more ideas on what you want us to do with the banks, saying get out of it. I'm not making them do what they had done earlier, which they were not meant to do, going away, going astray from their core business and doing long-term funding. No, on the long-term funding, there are two propositions which are mentioned in the budget. We'll go ahead with that, but we also need to talk to the banks to get into core lending, core business lending, which they used to do earlier. FRDI, lots of discussions have happened. I'm sure the ministry can expand on that. This is something which ministry may not like. I'll still ask it. GAR was invoked to question risk capital. Can you please, if not now, send me some information on that? Because I don't want the tax department to be after you all on that. They can't be invoking GAR when they needn't. So please do send me some information. So, but over and above this, of course, secretaries, in case they want to add anything more.